Very nice to meet you. Of course, we all know that rotary niti sets the standards for the greatest improvements that have occurred in endodontics. Makes all other systems passé.
That's the problem with you academics. You actually start believing what you keep talking about. If you stopped and actually thought about it, you might realize that you're drinking the Kool-Aid that the manufacturers are all too ready to provide.
Now wait just a minute. I base my opinions on hard evidence published in jury journals that have no commercial interests.
So you say, but just look at how many articles in jury journals state their appreciation for grant money from the companies they are doing the research for. Do you believe man is so noble that he is not subject to influence by those who support him? I know from personal experience that researchers have proposed projects that may or may not turn out positive for the company offering the grant money. Part of the deal is that if the results are negative, they won't publish the paper, although they still take the grant money. I agree, that is a step above, but the stipulation of publishing or not publishing should not be left to those making the grants. Furthermore, it is easily within the scope of a researcher to emphasize what is positive about a product while de-emphasizing what is not. Those rotary niti instruments, for example. I hear a lot about flexibility and their ability to shape curved canals without distortion. However, I don't hear too much about their tendency to break under the same conditions. It must just be an oversight. Sure, you can always read honest research that is not infected with grant money, but those articles exist in a vast pool of sponsored research that in the minds of those doing the sponsoring is nothing more than another vehicle to sell their products under the guise of legitimacy.
I more than have the ability to differentiate between good research and self-promoting research, and that is what I base my teachings on.
So you would say that you are free of any subjective prejudices?
Of course.
But you are the chairman of the endodontic department, and you have chosen a particular system for the student body to learn. What went into that decision?
We knew we wanted to use a rotary system because of its many advantages over traditional systems. After looking at all the systems, we felt that this one particular system was the best.
So when you say you concluded that this one particular system was the best, what criteria went into determining that that particular system was the best?
We wanted a system that provided the most predictability in adequate canal shaping.
That's all well and good. But what specifically made this particular system the best in your mind?
A number of factors were considered, and all of them turned out to be better for this particular system.
You keep saying that, but I don't hear any specifics. Since you had criteria, simply tell me what they were.
There were so many criteria that we examined that it would be difficult for me to enumerate them here and now.
Sir, I'm in no rush, and if you need to refresh your memory, I'm more than prepared to be patient for you to give me a full accounting of your decision-making process.
Look, while I am happy to have this conversation with you, you must realize that I have many responsibilities and have only so much time to devote to a debate with you.
Wait, sir. What I am requesting is in no way a debate. That might occur if we disagreed over the appropriateness of the criteria that you used. However, I only want to know what those criteria were.
Look, I really don't have the time for this sophomoric discussion. I told you I have an open mind, but you're beginning to test my patience.
Sir, my tone has been nothing but respectful. Any objective person would say I am merely asking for the tools that you use to reach a decision on the system you use. So far, you have not told me the criteria you used. If you eventually do tell me, I also would then ask to know how that criteria was used to differentiate the quality of one system versus another. As you know, anytime criteria is used, we are in effect setting up an experiment to test different variables. I would like to see the data you must have accumulated in your decision-making process.
Look, this is simply too much. You are too much. You have abused my hospitality, madam, and I won't quickly forget it. I think it's about time you leave.
Sir, I'm going to leave you with this one last question, please. If there any correlation between the grant money you receive and the decision on what system you use?
Goodbye, madam.